Hi there. Today I'm coming to you from a hotel in downtown Berlin. Why? Well, Germany is currently going through a record-breaking heat wave, with temperatures reaching at least 40 degrees Celsius or about 105 degrees Fahrenheit. And since I currently live in a top-floor apartment without air conditioning, I have to escape to a hotel with air conditioning to survive the heat wave. I've done this for a few days every summer that I've lived here, because it's the best way I've found to escape the heat. You see, air conditioning is not very common in Germany, with only about 6% of homes having it. Across Europe, only about 20% of homes have air conditioning. This hasn't been much of a problem throughout Europe's history, since the weather here in the past was generally milder than in many other parts of the world. But with the climate crisis worsening, extreme heat waves have become more frequent and common in Europe in the past 20 years or so. This means people here increasingly have to figure out how to beat the heat. So I thought I would use this opportunity to talk about ways to deal with the heat in Germany. Los geht's! Let's go over the 7 quickest and easiest ways to confront the heat. Many of these are Berlin focused, but the majority of these or similar approaches will work in Germany or other places with similar heat-related challenges. First, you can be like me, and when you see a heat wave coming in the forecast, quickly book a hotel that has air conditioning. I know that not everyone can do this or even afford it, and I know that it may be hard to find a hotel room at the last minute, especially during peak tourist season, but if you can do it, it's great. In addition to the air conditioning, one of the best parts of staying in a hotel is the daily breakfast bar, which is fantastic and one of my favorite things about hotels in Europe. Another potential solution, which is also cost prohibitive and depends on your job situation, is to hop on a train to Germany's Baltic Sea coast. The Baltic Sea is north of Berlin, and it's a favorite for many Berliners to escape to in the summer. The most convenient and popular locations on the Baltic coast for Berliners to go are Rostock and nearby Warnemünde. You can get to Rostock in about 2 hours by train from Berlin. And I have to say, looking at the weather report from Warnemünde today, the high is 32 degrees. While the high in Berlin is 42 degrees. That's a huge difference. Other Baltic Sea locations that are popular are Usedom Island, including the towns of Heringsdorf and Aalbeck, which is about 3 hours by train from Berlin, and the Rügen Island towns of Stralsund and Binz, which can be reached in about 3.5 hours by train. Now, if you can't afford to go to a hotel or head to the coast, there are plenty of other options to make it through the heat. Even though most homes don't have air conditioning, there are lots of places that do. For example, you can go to the Mall of Berlin. This is a big downtown indoor mall with over 200 stores and a large food court. Another great place to go is the KaDeWe department store. This is the second largest department store in Europe after Harrods in London. It has 6 floors of shopping and 2 floors of food court and restaurants. The Mall of Berlin and KaDeWe are both great places to wander around, do some shopping, get a meal, and avoid the heat and air-conditioned comfort. If shopping isn't your thing, you can also try going to a museum. Berlin, like many other big German cities, has tons of world-class museums. Museum Island is a UNESCO World Heritage Site where you can find the Altes Museum, the Neues Museum, the Alte Nationalgalerie, the Bode Museum, and the Pergamon Museum, and all of them are air-conditioned. Another option for finding air conditioning here is a movie theater. There are tons of movie theaters in Berlin for you to choose from, and many of them offer films in original English language formats or with English subtitles. One of the largest and most popular places for this is the Zoopalast, which is in the heart of the downtown. If artificial air conditioning isn't your thing, you can get natural air conditioning by going to a park. Downtown parks can be up to 10 degrees cooler than the surrounding urban areas, and most German cities have great parks in their downtowns. In Berlin, there are many parks for people to enjoy and cool off in. Here, one of the best places to get some shade in the city is a nice downtown forest called the Tiergarten. In addition to being a great place to walk around in the shade, the Tiergarten also has a great beer garden right by the water where you can enjoy a cool and refreshing drink. So whether it's the Tiergarten or another park, visiting a downtown park is a great way to escape the heat. You may have seen photos or videos of people enjoying the cool rivers in Munich's English Garden Park. This, of course, is another awesome way to cool off. In Berlin, there are many ways to enjoy the water too. For example, there are lots of fountains around town that you're actually allowed to step into, like this one in front of Berlin's cathedral. There are also many great places to go swimming here. One of the most popular is the Badeschiff, or bathing ship on the Spree River. And there are numerous lakes around the city that people love to go to, such as Wannsee or Muggelsee. So if you really need to cool off, take advantage of one of these great water-based destinations in and around Berlin. Germans are absolutely obsessed with ice cream, or ice as they call it, even when it isn't hot out. But in the summer, you'll see long lines at every ice cream shop. Here's a great example, Hokey Pokey in the Prenzlauer Berg neighborhood. I have to say, I absolutely love the ice cream in Germany. There are so many great flavors, and there are also many awesome vegan options for me to enjoy too. Other than taking cold showers or resorting to cooling off in front of an open fridge or freezer, the last quick fix to beat the heat is to get yourself a good fan or portable air conditioner. I personally have one of these Dyson fans, which really does help, especially at night. But I've never had a portable air conditioner while I've lived here. Unfortunately, many apartment leases here don't allow you to add any permanent sort of air conditioner, including window box styles or those with outdoor hoses. Instead, some people use so-called swamp coolers that work well on drier summer days, but these don't work so well when it's humid. Though I know many people here who do use them, and I hear that they can also help. On most days, I think fans can work pretty well on their own, but on the hottest days, this just isn't enough, at least not when you live on an upper floor. So if these quick fixes don't work for you, there are some other longer-term approaches that you can consider instead. If you're planning on moving to Germany or you already live here and the heat is getting you down, here are some ways that you can more permanently beat the summer heat. And this all has to do with where you live. First, you can try to get an apartment with air conditioning, or what the Germans call Klimaanlage. But as I said, only about 6% of homes in Germany actually have air conditioning. So finding a place like this is going to be a bit difficult. But the good news is, you can target your apartment search to look for some key features that will really help. First of all, it's probably a good idea to look for an apartment on a lower or ground floor that faces north and or east, since it will get less direct sun and be much cooler. I've read that ground floor apartments can be up to 10 degrees Celsius cooler than top floor apartments. Honestly, I have to say, as much as I love living on an upper floor during all of the other seasons here, I really wish I would have thought more about these sort of summer proofing features when I chose an apartment for myself. Now, another thing that will help is if the apartment has exterior blinds like these. It's very important that the blinds are on the exterior. Interior blinds like I have in my place, especially blackout blinds, help of course too. But if you only have interior blinds, your windows will heat up and heat will still radiate into your apartment. Exterior blinds, on the other hand, will keep windows cool, allowing much less heat to radiate in. So where you choose to live can make a big difference. As I mentioned before, right now I'm living in a top floor apartment without air conditioning. Luckily, it faces mostly east, and I do have blinds and a pretty nice fan. But it becomes unbearable in my apartment and outright dangerous when the temperatures climb so high. My apartment really feels like an oven right now, and there hasn't been much wind in the evenings, so there's no way I can stay there during an actual heat wave like this. On days like these, I really do miss having air conditioning like I always had in the US. Though, without it, I do now have a better connection to the outdoors and the actual temperatures outside, which I think is a good thing most of the time. But after going through 5 heat waves, including this one, with the highest temperatures yet, I've been on the search for a new apartment. So with any luck, my summers in the future will be much more tolerable, and I won't have to escape into a hotel every time there's a heat wave. But for now, I'm just going to chill in the hotel and enjoy the awesome breakfast bar for the next few days until this current heat wave passes. If you have any further tips to survive the heat, please share them below in the comments. Until next time, thanks for watching, and please be sure to like and subscribe. That's it for now. Tschüss, bis später!